Xero Shoes are a high-tech version of mankind's favorite footwear since 15,000 BC.
I'll make you an offer just for the heck of it. I'll give you the $400,000 for 50%.
Okay.
You're worth about 800 grand, that's it.
That's an offer we're not willing to take at this time.
Very well, you're dead to me. Run out of here with bare feet.
So I have with me today, I have Steven Sashen, who I have the honor to know. We actually work with Steven, and Steven is a Masters All-American sprinter, one of the fastest men basically over the age of 50 in the US, and a former All-American gymnast. Now, I thought this was interesting, Steven, as I'm like looking on Xero Shoes' website to find information about you, to find your official bio. It says you are a professional stand-up comic, a cognitive psychology researcher. You taught Tai Chi and Zen archery, and I even heard down the grapevine that at one point you were also a magician. Is that accurate?
Yeah, you could sum that up by saying I was too old to have ever gotten Ritalin. They didn't invent it when they would have given it to me. And I realized I need to update that because it's actually, as a Masters All-American sprinter, it's now fastest guy over 60, or one of the fastest guys over 60. So,
one thing that is really cool about you is that you guys have been on Shark Tank, but when you were on there, you actually got some I'm outs. Some of the sharks were like, they didn't see the value of Xero Shoes, but one, Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary, stepped in and he made you an offer and you guys said no. I think that takes a lot of guts.
it was actually really easy to say no because we knew what our company was worth. So when you're pitching on Shark Tank, you do a weird thing. You're basically setting your own valuation.
We're looking for $400,000 in exchange for 8% equity in our company.
You're saying, here's what I'm willing to give you. Here's how much equity I'm willing to give. Here's what I want for it. In real negotiations for real investment, that's not the way it happens. And we also knew that they wanted to negotiate. Whatever number you're going to give them, they're going to try and talk you down in some way. Now, they can't give you less money than you're asking for, but they can ask for a higher equity percentage, which is the typical thing that happens.
You're going to make $200,000 if everything goes right this year. You're asking me to pay you 25 times that amount and value your business at 25 times profit. I'll make you an offer just for the heck of it. I'll give you the $400,000 for 50%. Okay. You're worth about 800 grand. That's it.
First of all, it was such a non-starter that we forgot he even made the offer. And then Robert had to remind us. And we went back and Lena, my wife, says, so are you bringing anything to the table other than money? And Kevin says, well, I've got a big Rolodex. I'm a smart businessman. And I remember Lena saying something she doesn't remember saying, which was, so.
Here's the other problem I've got. If this category is growing as fast as you say, It's going to attract some very big competitors at some point.
Here's the big thing. The big shoe companies are lying sacks. End of story. Now, when I say that, people will argue with me, not realizing that I am one of the 5 or 10 leading experts on what I'm talking about on the planet, despite how I might look. First, from 2009 through the end of 2010, the shoe companies were saying, if you do something like what we're doing or run barefoot, you're going to step on hypodermic needles, you'll get Ebola, your kids won't get into college, your car won't start, you'll forget how to use the number 3. I mean, just all this crazy stuff. By the end of 2010, many of them had shoes they were calling minimalist, and they were just touting the benefits of them. Now, those shoes were horrible for many reasons, but regardless, they now had a foot in the door. But then people were saying, but wait, you've been saying these other shoes with all this padding are great. Now you're saying these shoes without padding are great. Which is it? And then they pulled out and stopped doing it because they couldn't tell 2 stories.
Steve, I promise you that I can have these on the boat in about 30 days.
Oh, I would challenge you for that one.
You want to challenge me? You cut a piece of rubber, put a string on it, and you said that this is great technology, and then you say the company's worth $5 million, and you've only done...
No, we say the company's worth $5 million because of our industry expertise.
Because of what? The industry? I'm out.
Okay, there are no other sharks here.
Correct.
There's just you, me, Lena, the rubber, and the string. What are you going to do? I'm going to give you $400,000 for 50% of this company.
That's an offer we're not willing to take at this time.
Very well, you're dead to me. Run out of here with bare feet.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for your time.
Guys. Thanks.
So you go on Shark Tank, Kevin O'Leary makes a crazy offer that's like, no, we know our value. We've gone through this process. What like what happened after that? Because like I've heard stories of like websites crashing, sales, offers from other investors. Like what happened as a result of that?
The first two, yes. The last one, no. So our website crashed almost immediately upon our episode starting to air, our segment starting to air. We were getting over 270,000 concurrent visitors, and we were not prepared. Actually, it's not that we weren't prepared for it. Is that we discovered that code that we were using wasn't prepared for that. So we had to figure out why the site crashed, and we discovered that there was just one particular plugin for our site that was just sucking up bandwidth like crazy, and so that was the solution. We solved that problem. We thought when they re-aired our episode 6 months later, we had the same problem, the site crashed. But at least we were prepared at that time. If we were going to have site problems, we just put up a splash screen like, "Hey, we're being overwhelmed. Give us your email address. We'll email you when we're back up." So the first 72 hours after the first airing was just a nightmare trying to handle the phone calls and the emails. And we did about 3 months worth of sales in the week following the show. So we did about $250,000 in the week following the show.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Steven, thank you for joining us. I appreciate you. Steven and I want to say thank you for listening to this episode. Please subscribe to this podcast and also join the Ecommerce Alley Facebook group. It's completely free, alleypodcast.com/group, and we'll see you in the next episode.